What's good, traders? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going all in on AMP Futures, a brokerage that's got a serious rep in the futures trading scene. If you're into futures, options on futures, or just curious about what AMP Futures brings to the table, you're in for a treat. This video is going to be a beast, covering everything: platforms, fees, pros, cons, and even some stuff Canadian traders need to know. So grab a snack and let's dive into this. By the end, you'll know if AMP Futures is your vibe or not. Let's get it! Before we go deeper, I want to give a quick nod to where I'm pulling a lot of this info from. The folks at HelloSafe are straight-up experts when it comes to financial stuff. They've tested tons of brokers, opened real accounts, and made actual trades to get the real scoop. They're helping over 1 million people every month, so you know, they're the real deal. I've taken their deep dive on AMP Futures, added some extra research, and wrapped it all up in a way that feels like we're just kicking it, talking trading over a coffee. No boring jargon, just the good stuff. Let's keep this train moving. Okay, let's talk about why AMP Futures might just make you fall in love with futures trading. First off, their platform lineup is absolutely nuts. We're talking over 60 trading platforms. People, you've got heavy hitters like MetaTrader 5, Sierra Chart, MultiCharts, and even TradingView. This is huge because every trader's got their own style, right? Maybe you're obsessed with MT5's clean look, or you're a Sierra Chart stan because of its next-level charting. Whatever you're into, AMP Futures has a platform that'll feel like home. This kind of variety is super rare, and it's perfect whether you're just starting out or you've been trading futures forever. Then there's the regulation side of things. AMP Futures is regulated by the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, and is a member of the National Futures Association, NFA. These are big deal regulators, and they make sure AMP Futures is playing by the rules. For US traders, this is like a warm hug. It means your money's got some solid protection. Knowing your broker's legit, that's the kind of peace of mind we all want. Lastly, AMP Futures is a futures specialist, which is awesome if that's your thing. They're not trying to juggle 1 million markets, they're all in on futures and options on futures. That focus means they know these markets inside and out, with over 50 futures contracts and a bunch of options to trade. If futures are your jam, AMP Futures is like walking into a candy store. AMP Futures is known for its low trading fees, which is great if you're trying to keep costs down. They offer 2 main fee structures: volume tiered and flat rate. The volume tiered structure has a low minimum deposit of $100 and ranges from 0.44 to 0.41 per contract for S&P 500 Micro E-mini futures, depending on how many contracts you trade. If you want a flat rate, you'll need a minimum deposit of $10,000, but this drops your per contract cost to 0.42. By default, all new accounts are set up with the volume tiered pricing, but you can switch to the flat rate plan by contacting their support team. AMP also stands out for its clear fee calculator, which is a nice touch, making it easier to see your true costs up front. While they don't charge for inactivity or ACH withdrawals, their $30 wire withdrawal fee is on the steeper side. They support over 60 trading platforms, though some, like Sierra Chart, Package 5, come with their own monthly fees, adding another layer to consider when calculating your total costs. Now, let's keep it 100. AMP Futures isn't perfect. There's some stuff you gotta know before you jump in. First up is their limited product lineup. AMP Futures is all about futures and options on futures, and that's where it ends. Want to trade stocks? Nope. Forex? Sorry. Crypto? Not happening. Tons of other brokers, like AvaTrade or Questrade, give you a whole menu of assets to mess with, but AMP Futures is strictly a futures party. If you like mixing things up across different markets, you're gonna feel boxed in. Copy trading's another thing they're missing. If you're new to trading or just want to follow the moves of some pro traders, AMP Futures doesn't have any copy or social trading features. That's a letdown, especially when platforms like AvaTrade make it super easy to ride the coattails of the big shots. For beginners, this could be a big reason to look elsewhere. Customer support? Yeah, it's not their strong suit. They've got phone, email, and live chat, but the reviews aren't exactly singing their praises. A lot of traders say the responses are slow or not super helpful, especially when you're in a pinch during trading hours. When you're deep in a trade and need answers fast, that's the last thing you want. They've got to step it up here. And then there's the fee structure. It can be a bit of a maze. Their trading commissions are low, which is dope, But then you've got platform data subscriptions, withdrawal fees, and other little costs that creep up. If you're not paying close attention, these can hit you harder than you expect. For traders who are super picky about costs, this can feel like a headache. So, who's AMP Futures really built for? Honestly, it's a dream for experienced futures traders who know their way around the markets and want a ton of platform options. If you're all about low trading fees and happy sticking to futures and options, this place is going to feel like paradise. It's perfect for folks who can handle advanced platforms like CFTC or MultiCharts without breaking a sweat. But if you're a newbie looking for copy trading, a wider range of assets, or top-notch customer support, you might want to keep shopping. Same goes if you're into stocks, forex, or crypto. AMP Futures just isn't that kind of party. It's a niche broker for a niche crowd, and if you're in that crew, you're probably going to vibe with it hard. Let's talk about whether you can trust AMP Futures with your money. Short answer: they're pretty legit, but there's some fine print, especially for Canadians. They're regulated by the CFTC and NFA in the US, which is a huge plus. These regulators are no joke. They make sure AMP Futures follows strict rules, keeps client funds safe, and operates transparently. For US traders, that's a big win. But here's the deal for Canadians. AMP Futures isn't registered with Canadian regulators like the Ontario Securities Commission, the OSC, British Columbia Securities Commission, BCSC, or Alberta Securities Commission, ASC. That means if you're trading from Canada and something goes wrong, you might not have the same protections as you would with a locally regulated broker. It's not a total red flag, but it's something to think about if you're up north. When it comes to managing risk, AMP Futures has some solid tools. They're clear about margin requirements for futures contracts, so you know what you're risking. They've also got negative balance protection, which is clutch. It means you can't lose more than what's in your account. You can set stop-loss orders to keep your losses in check, and platforms like CFTC and MultiCharts have built-in tools for position sizing and real-time risk tracking. All in all, they give you what you need to stay safe in the wild world of futures trading. Let's break down what you can actually trade with AMP Futures. They've got over 50 futures contracts, covering commodities like crude oil and gold, indices like the S&P 500, and some bonds. You're looking at around 20-plus commodity contracts, a few indices, and a handful of bond options. It's a decent spread if futures are your thing, but compared to the broader market, it's a bit narrow. Other brokers might offer 70 or more futures contracts, plus a whole lot of other stuff like forex, stocks, or crypto. Speaking of, listener, equities, or cryptocurrencies. If you're into trading currency pairs, stocks, or Bitcoin, you're out of luck. Their focus on futures makes them a specialist, which is awesome if that's your main hustle, but it's a letdown if you want more variety. It's like they're serving up a killer steak dinner, but if you're craving sushi or pizza, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. Now, let's get to the good stuff, their platforms. With over 60 options, AMP Futures is like the buffet of trading platforms. You've got MetaTrader 5 for that slick, user-friendly vibe, CFTC for hardcore charting, MultiCharts for deep technical analysis, and even TradingView for trading right from those sweet charts. Then there's CQG, which is solid for direct market access and order routing. These platforms are loaded with features, technical indicators like moving averages, Bollinger Bands, MACD, you name it, plus customizable charts and automated trading for the set-it-and-forget-it crowd. You've also got market depth, DOM, for real-time liquidity, historical data for backtesting, and a bunch of order types like market orders, limit orders, stop losses, trailing stops, OCOs, and bracket orders. It's a total playground for advanced traders. The catch? Some platforms aren't mobile-friendly or web-based, so you might be glued to your desktop. If you're always on the move, that's a bit of a drag. Still, the variety and power of these platforms make AMP Futures a go-to for serious traders. Let's see what the community's buzzing about. AMP Futures has a solid 4.3 out of 5 on Trustpilot, based on 764 reviews, which is pretty legit. They're holding their own against brokers like FP Markets, 4.95, and AvaTrade, 4.75. Canadian traders have some real stories, though. Lisa P. loves the low commissions and CFTC but was super annoyed about a 10-day withdrawal process and high fees. Daniel C. is all about the platform variety and fast execution on MT5, but found the data subscription setup a bit of a hassle. Emily T., who's newer to futures, liked the demo account but struggled with MultiCharts' learning curve. The vibe? Traders are into the low costs and platform options, but customer support and onboarding can be a mixed bag. If you're cool flying solo and don't need a ton of help, you'll probably be fine. But if you want someone holding your hand, you might hit some bumps. Want to know what it takes to get started? AMP Futures has a super low minimum deposit of $100 USD, which is awesome for just about anyone. They've got live accounts for real trading and demo accounts for practicing, which is perfect for testing your strategies without risking your cash. Deposits are free, but those withdrawal fees, $30 to $50 for bank wires, are a buzzkill. They don't offer Islamic trading accounts, and leverage goes up to 120, depending on the asset and margin requirements. It's pretty straightforward, but those withdrawal fees are definitely something to watch out for. Hoping to copy some pro traders? Sorry, AMP Futures doesn't do copy trading or social trading. Unlike AvaTrade with its Ava Social feature, AMP Futures is more of a do-it-yourself deal. As for taxes, any income from futures trading in Canada is subject to capital gains tax, but I'm no tax expert. So hit up a pro to get the full picture for your situation. Need to holler at AMP Futures? They've got phone, email, and live chat support, but the hours are limited, and reviews say they can be slow to respond. If you're stuck, you might need to lean on their online resources, or just be patient. For big issues, plan ahead so you're not caught in a bind during trading hours. Let's see how AMP Futures measures up to the competition. Compared to AvaTrade, which offers Forex, CFDs, crypto, and copy trading, AMP Futures is way more focused. AvaTrade's minimum deposit is also $100, but they use spreads instead of commissions, and they're regulated in places like Canada. Moomoo, with no minimum deposit and zero commission stock trading, is great for equities, but doesn't touch futures. Questrade, a Canadian staple, has a $1,000 minimum and charges $495, per trade, with a wider asset range but no futures focus. AMP Futures is a champ for futures traders, but falls short if you want more variety. So, what's the final word on AMP Futures? They're a beast for experienced futures traders who want low commissions, a massive lineup of platforms, and a deep focus on futures and options. With a $100 minimum deposit, competitive fees, and a demo account, it's easy to jump in. But those high withdrawal fees, limited asset range, and iffy customer support are real downsides. If futures are your world and you don't need copy trading or a ton of different markets, AMP Futures is a solid pick. If you're looking for more flexibility, you might want to check out other options. And that's the full lowdown on AMP Futures. If you're trading with them or thinking about it, hit the comments and tell me what's up. Have you messed with their platforms? Dealt with those withdrawal fees? Let's hear it. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Until next time, trade smart and keep chasing those gains. Catch you later.